to order the special meeting for Bullhead City School Board on Thursday, March 27th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Roll call. Present, Melinda Sabrowski.
Charlene Diaz here.
Fred Rushton here.
Barb Zarzicki here.
Judy Reed here.
Would you please stand and say the pledge with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have no citizens present, so we're going to skip to 1.5, adoption of the agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
I make a motion we adopt the agenda.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? I, Melinda Sabrowski.
Aye, Charlene Diaz.
Hi, Fred Rushton.
Aye, Barb Zarzicki.
Aye, Judy Reed.
Good news, huh?
Very good
All
news.
right, let's hear some good news.
Cass, if you'd put, no, the other one, if you'd put that one up, please. And make it as big as you can. There you go, that looks really good. Okay, so the Meet and Confer Committee, when I went back to them and reported that the proposed increase with Kairos was higher than I had originally told them, based on having attended their state board meeting. I asked them how they'd like to proceed. They did ask if we could get a presentation from ASBATE. So we had that presentation on Tuesday afternoon. It was all virtual, but Chuck Nelson presented these numbers to us from ASBATE. So on the left, where it says proxy current rates, you can see the Core 500, the Copay 750, and the HDHP 1650. Those are the three current programs that we have with Kairos. The one in the middle, the Copay, the $1,035.20 is what we are paying the current year, so fiscal year 25, for employees. We pay that amount toward the Core 500, and employees can buy up to have that because then the deductible is less, and the copays, I think, are less. The HDHP, I'm not quite sure how all of that works, but we pay that for our employees on that side too. So those are the current rates this current year. On the right, you see the offer that ASBATE is making for us for next school year. The Classic Gold corresponds to the Core 500 in the current year. The Classic Silver corresponds to the Copay 750 in the current year, and the HDHP-A corresponds to the HDHP 1650. The difference there is that the lowest HDHP that ASBATE has is $2,600, which means that it's $2,600 deductible for that one. And the folks who sign up for that are usually younger and, a few health issues and whatever, and so it becomes a health savings account for them. And if they currently have one, then that will roll over. They can roll it over to the new program. So you can see the difference in the rate for Classic Silver and Copay 750, whereas currently we're paying $1,035.20 per month. We would be paying $1,009 per month for next year. I only highlighted those because as a district we have not paid for employees' dependents. We've only paid for full-time employees.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can see even that there's the better rates for those even if people want to buy up to those, if our employees want to buy up to those, they're better rates than we are currently offering. So that's the first part. The second part is, for several years now, we have had our dental and vision insurance with Emeritus, and it's been a self-paid, self-funded item for us. Because they had good rates, so each year the committee, originally it was an insurance committee, but now it's the Meet and Confer Committee, had just recommended that we stay with them. For 2 years we had some commitment from Emeritus that on the vision side that our employees could get both glasses and contacts if they wanted. They've never followed through with that. So our employees are disappointed because they kind of feel that we were lied to. I don't know that it was a lie, but it certainly was a misrepresentation of what we were going to get. And so I recommended to the committee, and as a separate action in our meeting on Tuesday, that we just move all of our vision and dental to ASBATE, have it in one package, so that the only other thing that we have is our life insurance, which is a separate insurance policy, and that we continue that with Unum. And I can explain in a minute why that's a desirable thing. But this puts everything else in terms of our employee insurance in one package. And in some ways makes it a little easier in our business office, because we just send one premium check each month instead of having to write separate checks and do some other things separately. So the committee unanimously approved that recommendation that I made to them. So recommendations for these were unanimous by that committee. And we had a long discussion about the carrier, because ASBATE's carrier is Aetna. And several years ago, the last time we were with ASBATE, with Aetna, which was in school year 2019-20, there were issues with providers in this area. 2019 and 2020, that school year, sorry. The first year I was here.
Yeah, 1920.
1920, I don't think I was here.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, I was having problems with that.
yes, and I get that.
I thought it
It was the
first
first
too.
year I was in this
Yeah.
position, was 2019-20. And we were still with ASBATE at that time. Yes, with ASBATE, and they were with Aetna. And there were issues that our folks had of concerns with providers in the area. We had both ASBATE and Kairos make presentations in the spring of 20 for school year 2020-2021. And basically, they came in with about the same rates. The differences that pushed the recommendation to Kairos at the time were a couple of things. One was the displeasure with ASBATE's list of providers. The second was that that Mayo Clinic was not one of the providers for ASBATE at the time. And there was a third reason, and right now I can't think what the third reason was, but those were the two big ones. So when I met with the committee on Tuesday, to me, the two elephants in the room were the price, and would ASBATE have the services and the providers that our employees would need. And they have vastly increased, Aetna has vastly increased their coverage in our area. And to verify that, after the decision was made on Tuesday, of course, my team went away and talked to the people that they represent and had questions. Several employees said, okay, I'm currently with, and named a doctor or named a facility or a medical practice, and said, is this in the provider list? Is Mayo Clinic. So Mayo Clinic is now in the provider list. And in fact, every single question that we've had from our employees about their current providers, those folks are on the list. So Aetna has stepped up in terms of increasing providers in the area. There's not been a no at all in terms of the questions that we've had from our current employees. So it's fairly easy for me to recommend to you that we contract with ASBATE for our medical, pharmacy, vision, and dental insurance for school year 25-26.
Now, Carolyn, did we get a quote from our current,
Yes, and it was a 20% increase.
a 20% increase? Okay,
Yeah, it was a 20% increase.
okay, thank you.
And that's a good question, Barb. That's what led the committee to say, can we at least hear what ASBATE has
Yeah.
to say? And we stuck with the two because we are members of these two trusts.
Yeah.
Okay, as a district, we're a member of ASBA, so we're a member of ASBATE, which is their insurance trust. We are also members of the Arizona Risk Retention Trust, which pays all of our liability insurance and all of those things, and our workers' comp. And so we're a member of that. So Kairos is the insurance wing of that trust. So we're members of both of these, both of these agencies, and that makes it pretty easy for us to make the comparisons and make the decisions. Because then we don't need a broker. We don't have to go out and search on our own. Saves us a lot of time and energy and probably a lot of cost too.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion to approve our carrier, a new carrier?
I make a motion, we approve ASBATE as the new carrier for the medical, pharmacy, vision, and dental insurance for the school year 25-26.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? I, Melinda Sabrowski.
I, Charlene Diaz.
I, Fred Rushton.
I, Barb Zarzaki.
Hi, Judy Reed.
Item 3.1, future topics. Fred brought in this paper.
Yeah.
Okay, he gave us everybody a copy. We don't have to share. We have done this. I have done this, and it might have been on a previous board, but I remember doing this. But there have been so many changes that I think we need to at least look into it.
Yeah.
And Julie Bacon is phenomenal as far as presenting things. It does take time. It's not just an hour's thing. Sometimes it'll stretch into, I remember it being longer, like 2 to 4 hours
Yeah.
long. But if that's what it takes to make me understand school finance, that's probably a good idea.
Probably going to take more than 4 hours to
But
understand.
the thing is, it may be shorter, and I may have a bad memory of this. Not that it was a bad thing, but a bad, circuit. I would like to suggest, following Fred's suggestion, that we go ahead and have Cassie look into, or call Julie and see what this would be about.
Yeah.
Okay? See if we can arrange a time where she can be here. And Cassie says that it does happen virtually. She does have virtual things.
Yeah, I was going to say, it says say that, in person and virtual.
But I think with something like this, I would prefer in person.
Yeah, I prefer Julie being here and stuff. It's easier to, I think,
And
ask
the
questions.
reason why is because I learn better if I see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah.
And also, we have the benefit and the advantage of the input from other board members that, we all have
Yeah.
insights that we bring to the board that can help us all learn and get better.
And you don't have to worry about your Zoom meeting freezing up halfway through.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that
Like
happens
perhaps
Sunday.
that happened to us
Um,
Sunday.
I would also like to get your opinions on whether we should ask the other local boards if they would like to make this more of a workshop for everybody.
I think it'd be a
for
great
her.
idea.
For
Very
the
good.
other boards, like the high school board or
Oh,
Mojave
yeah.
Valley.
Yeah.
Make it worth their while.
You're so
See
very
if they would
thoughtful.
like to send one or more or the whole board, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that we could do this. Would that be okay with the board?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be a great idea. I
I
mean,
think
we're
it's-
bringing somebody in who's,
Because
I mean,
like Fred
Julie's
says,
up on
they have-
everything, so,
Everybody has a different question.
yeah.
Oh, what is the cost of this? Or is there no
I'm
cost?
sorry?
besides-
$200 a person.
Yeah, no
I'll
cost.
take your money.
Oh, thank you.
No cost, that's
it
part of us
shouldn't
paying.
Oh, I didn't, I
cost
thought,
us
is
anything
it started
because
being
remember-
ASBA?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
because a
okay.
member of
Yeah.
ASBA. If it does, it's minimal, and we'll take it out of your salary.
Yeah.
You can take it all out of this.
So Cassie, if you would do that for us, and then let's see if any of the other boards might be wanting to do that. It'd be a nice thing to host here.
So what,
And that might also be a selling point for Julie too. If she knows that there's other boards interested and it won't be
To
just
come down.
for
Yeah.
5 people.
Yeah.
Oh, she's come out here before for 5 of us,
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it might be more attractive if she knew
Yeah.
there's going to be 30.
but,
Yeah.
I know Julie's told us at all the conferences, she doesn't mind making the trip out here for us for teaching purposes and stuff. She enjoys it.
Any other topics that we'd like to have Cassie or Carolyn look into for us? Okay. We have our next meeting on April 17th, 2025 at 5:30 for the workshop, and as soon as the workshop gets open, I hope you guys aren't doing another workshop.
That won't be a long one.
Okay. 'Cause we've had some long meetings recently.
The last two meetings
Good
probably,
but they're
very long, yeah.
And the meeting, the normal meeting would start at, the regular meeting would start at 6. Is everybody in line for that?
Yep.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting then, please?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? I'm Melinda Sabrowski.
Aye, Charlene Diaz.
Hi, Fred Rushton.
Hi, Barbara Zarzicki.
Hi, Judy Reed.
See?
We're done.